everyone. Welcome. I have not been expecting that I would be just making videos like back to back like this. But guess this is the energy right now, so I'm just gonna go with it. My throat needs to just open up, ramble, share. And sometimes I feel like there's so much stuff on the internet. And if people who really like reflect and do the work on a daily basis, even if they ramble, the world would still benefit from it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the saint out of here, but I'm just saying, like, it's time when you start trusting your own self so much that you don't have to. I think, especially as someone who's always felt like I shouldn't, I have overthought making videos so much my entire life. Uh, I made my first video in 2016 or 17, something like that. And it's just gone like crazy since then. I've tried so many times, and now it's just so relaxed and cozy and casual. Like I'm making it sitting on my bed with wet hair. uh, and now it's like no script, no planning, no prepping, no pointers even. I have nothing. It's just a cosmic stream of consciousness style vlogging experience. um so yeah, having said that, maybe this ties into what I'm talking to you about today, because we are talking about past lives. And I know I have a lot of past life trauma sometimes, which has got me to hold back my voice so many times. So it's interesting how we started that topic through that story. But past lives, so juicy, so entertaining, so interesting. Everyone is curious about it. There might be tons of debates around if it's true, if it's legit, or if it's not. But the truth of the matter is, we all are super curious and excited. And I believe that if we are curious, it's because there is a pull that we feel. No matter whatever our minds say, that, oh, it's just made up or fiction, whatever the conditioning is there. If you feel that pull of curiosity, it's because there's something for you there. And I mean, I won't even blame us so much, because I think it's so much in the mass media how we've seen past lives to be portrayed as these fiction stories and movies and books. But actually, having experienced few past life memories and healing things, I can say out of my experience, it's very, very real. Uh, my only association with past life up until probably 2018 was few shows that I've seen on the television, where it was just a 9 p.m. drama and very entertaining, and that's all I knew about it, and I was never really into it. Until my spiritual journey and my spiritual awakening got me there, you know. Uh, so, past lives. Yes, we all do have past lives. Like, of course, we are all really, we are just changing these body suits, and we are coming back to just keep on continuing our journeys, our evolution as we evolve and ascend and gain the enlightenment or whatever lessons we need to ascend and to evolve as a soul. It's like, um, you leave something somewhere, and the next lifetime you come in and you pick up from exactly that same place. And I feel, one way through which it has come for me today is that, um, there are so many circumstances, patterns. It's also 2212 today, 22/12/22. These dates are not just synchronicities or coincidences. These are big portals. It's the solstice today. So the wheel is definitely very thin, and I feel like this is a really powerful download which I think just wanted to come through me. So I don't really know what it's really going to be about, but I just felt really called to talk about this, because somewhere a lot of times we blame ourselves for some intense experiences, emotions, our current life circumstances, for a lot of things, and we can just spin around in that, pattern and the judgment cycle, and we reach like nowhere. So for me, that is how it was, just looping around, uh, until all of these stories started to make sense, because you are, as I said, you're continuing the cycle. You're not just like, I'm not just 30 years old, I'm not just the experiences I've had in this lifetime. Yes, my mind would say, oh yeah, I only know this much, but my soul is so much older, and it has so many experiences. Like, I feel like even with my spiritual journey, it's been just like, what, 5 years, 7 years, honestly. But the amount of wisdom that has flowed in, it's massive. And I cannot explain it as anything other than remembrance. Remembrance of my past lifetimes um, as a medicine woman, as a healer, as a spiritual teacher, or as a warrior, so many different things, or as a writer, as a poet, uh, which feels like has come together for me this lifetime. I never went and learned anything of these things. Like, never, it came to me. As I said, remembrance. It's remembering the lifetime. So your past lifetimes do have a lot of gifts. They have a lot of your talents and skills. And one of the decks, which I think talk a lot about it, I think I had it here. It's called Work Your Light Oracle deck, which talks a lot about your purpose and talk about the bigger mission and talks about the bigger picture from a soul perspective. So there are a lot of cards in there which talks about past life and your evolution as a soul. Like, there's this, I don't remember which card is it exactly, but there's a message in there which says, um, you're more than the years you've spent on this earth. And I think it's the high priestess, it's the priestess card, which used to pop up for me all the time whenever I've picked out for my business, for my work, for my purpose, because I had so many reservations. If I'm worthy, if I deserve it, I'm so new, I don't know enough, I don't have a certificate, da 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 da, Um, but it's like, I'm so much more than just these experiences I've had, just like in 5 years, or just like in the 10 years. I'm so much more than that. And this wisdom comes so much deeper from this place, and it is from my past life. And so, yes, we have a lot of gifts there. We have a lot of beautiful connections there in our past lives. And of course, most of the people who you meet, your family, your close circle, you feel that intimacy and that connection with, they are people from your past life. We always just keep on changing the roles, but it's kind of like the circle is the same. Your soul family is always the same. And so, a lot of times we cross paths with people, and we just don't understand why we experience certain things with them. And sometimes it's like, wow, that's so amazing. Wow, they just came to me and helped me like an earth angel. Or sometimes it can be super intense, it can be super tricky to navigate, and again, you just don't understand that why the heck it is so intense. And I can just talk about myself. There's some of these connections I have found to be very intense, and I have done a lot of inner child healing in the past 2 years. So yeah, for sure, your inner child, your childhood experiences are also a continuation from your previous lifetime, right? There's this example which I think BK Shivani gave in one of her videos, which is like, uh, a child is very scared of water, and you can be like, what's up, what's wrong with them, water or a river or something like that, and you don't understand, but you don't know, maybe he experienced a traumatic experience of dying in a water body. And so in this lifetime, they are carrying forward from that. And I feel like actually healing your past lives can be so beautiful in understanding, because let's be honest, when we do not, like, our science and our logical brains really resist and hold us back from getting to know about these things. But the truth is, the moment you get to know about these things, it's this click, it's this aha moment, and suddenly you're like, I'm not crazy, I'm not losing my mind. And I have experienced this so many times, this aha moment where it's like, you know, uh, and then why are we resisting? Then why are we holding back? This is something which our minds actually need. We actually need this understanding and this awareness about what's happening. And once you have that awareness, then you can do the healing work, which just becomes so much easier once you have that awareness. But till the time you allow yourself to experience that awareness of like, where is this story coming from? What is this energy coming from? What is this emotion or this connection or this experience coming from? Why is it the way it is? And then you get to the story like, like when I started remembering my past lifetimes, so many things started to make sense and fall, like the puzzle pieces started to fit together. And I no more kept on going in these loops and blaming myself for things, or blaming my circumstances or my life for how it was turning out. It's like suddenly I could have a bigger picture. It's so interesting. I was sitting outside today in my balcony, and I felt this very strong anxiety in my heart, and I was just like, okay, breathing through it, just being there for myself, because I know the energies are really intense today, right now, throughout this portal, because we're really wrapping up a big 10-year karmic cycle. I'll come and talk a little bit more about karmic. Wow, is this video gonna be long? I guess. uh, but yes, I saw an eagle flying, and there were all these crows also flying, and it reminded me of a card in the tarot deck, which I have. Okay, it's far, so I'll just give you a pictorial representation in which there are a lot of these crows and the eagles, and it's even saying like the eagle flies so high, so high, so high that after a point the crows stop troubling, because the crows can't go to that level. So sometimes you need that very elevated and high perspective, so that you can just stop. You can stop. You are no more bothered by those lower frequency distractions, or stories which just are not making sense actually. um, and that's, I think, a sign for you to step back and say, okay, what's the bigger picture? Universe, God, angels, whatever you believe in, to show you the bigger picture, the elevated story, the higher experience, the higher perspective that you need. And we are talking about it through the lens of the past lives today, because when you step back and you see that elevated experience, it's like when you're zoomed in here, you're seeing just today, just this experience you're having right now. You're gonna zoom a little bit, you know back. You're gonna see the last 10 years. You're gonna zoom a little bit more. You're gonna see uh, uh, your childhood stories, and you can zoom a little bit more. You can actually see your ancestral stories. You can actually see your past life stories as well. And you're like, oh my god, all of this kind of like makes sense, but you need to go to that higher perspective in order to get it. And when you get that, it's such a relief. I'm telling you, it's such a relief. uh, and yes, so coming back to the comic, I think the reason we are having this conversation right now, or me having this monologue right now, is because we are at the precipice of this. Did I say the right word? I don't know. Uh, uh, we are at the junction of kind of like wrapping this big 10-year karmic cycle, which started from 2012, where the Mayan calendar ended. And I talked about it, I think, in my last video. The calendar ended in 2012, where we thought, oh, the world is gonna end. The world didn't end, but something ended, and we were kind of in the midst of it. And this 10-year, a lot of us who been going through this ascension process, like we all have been going through the ascension process, but a lot of us have been aware consciously about this. I wasn't aware in 2012, but I was aware. I started to become more aware about what's happening, about the whole ascension process, the spiritual awakening, the mass planetary ascension process in 2000, I guess 16, 17, 18, sometime around that time. My first introduction was in 2016. So yes, this whole karmic cycle that we're ending right now, it's a beautiful opportunity for us to reflect. The last full moon has been super intense. super intense because I think it really made way to clear everything from the last 10 years. Because we've been running a pattern, we've been running patterns, all of us, and now we're ending this cycle. So, what was the pattern about? Whoever has experienced this portal of 10 years, we have been clearing a lot of stuff. Yes, from this lifetime, patterns from this lifetime, but also from past lifetimes, also from our ancestral lineage. As I said, some of us are aware, some of us are not aware. It doesn't matter. We all are doing it, okay? Some of us are consciously doing the healing work. Sometimes on behalf of the others. I just read a meme today. It's a job your soul signed up for. You're not even getting paid for it, but you're doing it. So thank you, all the light workers, star seeds who are actively, consciously healing it and doing and raising the vibration. But coming back to the karmic contracts, yes, this time, uh, if there are some patterns in the stories which you can't make sense of, what happens is that, as I said, zoom back, zoom out, and get a higher perspective and see your whole lifetimes, as like these series of timelines, you know, just like, yeah, series of timelines. And what you're experiencing right now is here, but there's a lot of stuff that has happened here, okay? And there's a lot of timelines in the forward future as well, which are also simultaneously happening because time is an illusion. But what you're experiencing in this reality right now, as you are listening to me, you're say here, and you're judging your experiences from this space. But if you actually see, and you can go back and you're like, you can't understand this portion of it, like really see, is there some past life pattern that I have been healing, or maybe it's time for me to heal, because we experience this glitch, this unpleasant emotion, trauma, pain, suffering, because everything is karmic. We are all settling karmas from all lifetimes. Okay? So, what happens when you do these past life regression, healing comes into awareness, you get to see what karma, karmic debt you have been settling. Makes sense? Um, so, all this time, of where you, it's like I'm at the loss of words, because I feel like this is a very potent energy, which I hope you can receive it energetically from me, because sometimes the words are just not enough. I'll try to put it into the words, but what I'm trying to really share here is that you were experiencing something in one lifetime, and there was a trauma which happened. There was a separation from your conscious soul. There was a traumatic event, pain, suffering moment happened in time, which made you, you know do something which you were not proud of, only out of fear, you know and then the next lifetime you carry on that debt, and you get another chance to work on that. Do you do that? Maybe it's too uncomfortable to heal that, so you stay in that space of discomfort and not really recognizing it and addressing it and healing it, because you didn't have resources, you didn't have awareness, whatever, and you stay where you are, but you did not resolve that. And then carrying forward, that pain caused even more pain, because then you're still acting out of that pain. And then you move to the next lifetime and you're doing that again. So all of this is just piling up over and over and over again until this lifetime. When, if you're listening to this, you have the opportunity to shift all of that. And how do you shift that? By making a choice, by gaining an understanding and awareness, by healing that first lifetime. I have a free past life healing meditation I made long back, and it's on Insight Timer, so I'll link that down below. It's not that tricky, but more than healing, it's just like having this understanding and this conscious awareness that it's not like, if there are things which your mind cannot perceive or understand, don't try to force it. Don't try to use, like, I have used so much of this to understand a lot of things in my this lifetime, and it has not been able to answer that fully because it didn't come from this lifetime. It came from all the previous lifetimes. And it's like, example, you have a karmic cycle going on with somebody. You're like, why is this turning out like this all the time? And you realize that it's actually, and you try to figure out all the ways in which, like, why this is happening this way. And then you realize, okay, it's not coming from this lifetime, it's coming from previous lifetime. So what are the different choices that I can make this time to heal that karmic debt, to heal that negative karma, to heal that story, and to just make a different choice to break the pattern, what we talked about, interrupting the pattern. Yeah, that's what the past life, like, that's why you do past life healing. Someone said to me long back, oh, I don't need to know my past life, because and I think a lot of people I know, like my parents' generation, like, they were not very open to it. We never talked about it a lot in our house growing up, and there was a certain taboo subject, and I'm sure for a lot of you it would still be. um but I mean, having going through all of it, it's like, it's so logical, it just makes so much sense, honestly, to my mind. And there's no more fear. Yes, there can be a little bit of resistance because it's just the path of the unknown, but it's like retrieving your soul gifts, retrieving your lost soul fragments, because, as I said, when you leave a part of your life unhealed, which could be a childhood, which could be in your past life, you are it's like you have lost a part of you there, you have left a part of you there. And which is why there's this sense of emptiness, there's this sense of, like, incompletedness, there's a sense of, like, you have lost your soul gifts there, you have lost your a part of your soul there. And so when you do these healings, you get an opportunity, a chance to call back those lost soul fragments, to call back that part of you, you know otherwise what happens is that you feel this emptiness and you try to find it everywhere, and you create more negative cycles. So maybe if you're listening to this, take a moment in this lifetime and see what is it that you're trying so hard to solve from your analytical mind, and how can you let your divine feminine energy lead you into having a higher perspective and higher understanding, and show you this bigger picture. And how can you make a different choice this time? And maybe how and why, where you're acting out things in your life somewhere, it is due to fear of your past lifetimes. Like, it could probably that the decisions you're making right now are not even rooted in real life fears right now. So for example, if you are afraid to use your voice, like I know I was, and I have been so much for so long, and I'm still coming to terms with it, a lot of that trauma can come from my childhood, but most of that is actually past life stuff. Maybe being persecuted for speaking your truth. Now, are you going to be persecuted for speaking your truth in the present moment? Not really. Intercaste marriages in your lifetimes, in your previous lifetimes, could have really caused you deaths, abuse. Now, is that okay? In some landscapes, it can, it still happens. We are living in India. But I'm just saying that there are so many layers to this. There are so many things that we're doing based out of the fears of our previous lifetimes, not out of this lifetime. And it's not making us happy, and it's not making us feel fulfilled or satisfied or happy. And so then you get to ask that, what can I do differently? What different choices can I make? And why am I making some choice out of fear? And what is this fear about? Is this fear even true? Is this fear even right? Where is this coming from? Okay, doesn't make sense that I'm afraid because of this thing. Probably what happened 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. Is it something more? Why does this feel so uh, difficult, intense, controlling? Oh, well, because of course, if you've suffered trauma because of it in the past lifetimes of death, abuse, it will carry. And what I'm saying is, it's carried forward, right? I really hope this makes sense, because it's a tricky topic. I will not deny that. This is tricky. What we're talking about here is not something very fluid and easy for our logical minds to grasp. And I have full compassion for you if this you feel, if you want to just move on from this video and get on with your day. But if you are curious and if you want to say, okay, what is it? Journal after this experience, or check out the free meditation. Uh, and if you want to chat, get into my Instagram DMs maybe. Um, but see what comes up for you. I really hope this pieces a lot of things together for you. And most importantly, you release the shame and the blame of and the non acceptance of the life and the circumstances that you're experiencing right now, because this is the trick, this is the programming, right? Like, our answers are not in the books we were taught. And then when we are not able to win through that manual, life manual, we tend to blame ourselves, we tend to call ourselves losers. There's a lot of self blame and shame. So, removing that self blame and shame. Okay, and that's, I think, in itself is just so powerful. So, I have so much compassion for wherever you are in your journey, and I'm sending you so much love. Let me know if this topic brings out things for you. Drop it in the comments, actually. It would be so nice to have a chat. And I'm sending you so much love, and have a beautiful day. And God knows how this creative spree goes. I might see you right tomorrow.